Hi, everyone. Welcome to Thursdays with Thrin, connecting with your divinity within. So glad you're here with me this evening. Welcome to our beautiful sacred community. I'm so honored to be here in sacred community with you. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about and sit with one of my favorite teachers, water. More specifically, the river. The river knows secrets about flow and blockage, about pressure and release, about finding the way around obstacles that arise. And she's going to teach us about our nervous system and how the energy wants to move through us. I'd love to hear where everyone is dialing in from, or dialing in, such an old comment, tuning in from also. Where you're joining us from. If you'd like to drop that in the chat, I'd love to say hello. And even if you're catching the replay, I'd love to know where you're joining us from. It is my heart's hope that these live streams reach as far as they can go to bring peace and ease and clarity and community everywhere it's desired. I will keep an eye out in the comments to see where you're joining us from. And thank you again for being here with me tonight. I'm so glad you took some time for yourself. Now, I've almost always lived by a river. In fact, I'm not sure that I've ever been so far from a river I couldn't get to one when I wanted it. There's something in my soul that needs that. And the river is so wise and so helpful in teaching us about navigating our nervous system. So because I have frequently gone to sit with the river just to watch the water flow, or sometimes to go fishing or play, it's easy to think of a time where I've been sitting at a riverbank. And I'd love to invite you to also imagine being beside a river. You can create that image if you don't have one to pull from your own memory bank. That's completely fine. Make it as beautiful and as perfect for you as you desire. When I imagine one, I like to imagine a tree that I can lean against while also being close enough to the river where I can put my toes in and feel the water and the current rushing by. So if you'd like to imagine sitting by a river with me, feeling the earth beneath you, hearing the water as it flows, and sensing the ancient wisdom that flows here. And just let your breath find that natural rhythm of moving water. We don't have to force it right now. Just let it naturally breathe in and breathe out. And you can keep that cycle flowing, whatever feels good for you. So in nature-based wisdom, everything in nature reflects patterns to us. The river is a perfect mirror for our nervous system. Both are designed for flow and movement and for carrying life force where it needs to go. When a river is healthy and flowing freely, water moves at just the right pace, not too fast, creating destructive floods, not too slow, becoming stagnant pools. There's a natural rhythm, a dance between power and gentleness. This is what a regulated nervous system feels like. Energy moving, but with ease and grace. The river often encounters obstacles, you know, fallen trees, rock slides, dams made by animals or humans. But what does the water do when it meets resistance? At first, it kind of pulls up behind that blockage, pressure building because it's not being allowed to flow like it used to. But then it finds another way, around, under, sometimes over. Water is incredibly patient and incredibly persistent. Our nervous system is the same. When we experience trauma or stress, overwhelming experiences, energy can get stuck like the water behind a dam. And we feel that pressure building, anxiety and tension, that sense of being just ready to burst because your energy is so backed up and stuck and stagnant. Or sometimes the opposite happens. We go into drought mode and we shut down. Everything feels dry and lifeless. But the river teaches us that it's okay. You know, both states are temporary. The water always finds a way. Energy wants to flow. Our job isn't to force it, but to work with it, to learn how to work with it, with these natural patterns. And sometimes we have rapids in our system, like it's just the way it is. um, things are just flowing out of control, um, chaotic, turbulent, splashing everything outside, you know, just flowing over everywhere, complete chaos. But the river says that that's natural too sometimes. Rapids happen when water meets steep terrain and it's got a big drop to go down. It's okay. And then sometimes we have the quiet, deep pools where everything feels really still, maybe even leaning to stagnant. But beneath the surface, there's still a little movement, gathering places, rest stops where the energy is reorganizing itself. And the river, all the waterways are leading to the oceans, right? So the river also teaches us about the feeders, the small streams that feed into the main flow. In our bodies, that can be our breath, our movement, sound, touch, connection. When a main channel feels blocked, we can work with the smaller streams, trusting that they will eventually clear the larger pattern. And when it feels like you just can't do anything, or things are so chaotic and out of control, pick something small like your breath to focus on, or a little bit of movement, maybe a walk outside, you know. Find that small stream that's still making its way, and as it flows into your main river, your energy, your nervous system, bring that sense of calm in, and it will eventually clear it out. Now, before we explore our own inner waterways, I wanted to check in. How is everybody doing tonight? I would love to see in the comments where you're joining us from, how you're feeling, because we're about to go into a practice of recognizing our river or our nervous system's current state. So I'd love to just take a little moment for a checkpoint. If you'd like to drop in the comments how you're feeling. We'd like to first recognize what state your nervous system, your river, is in right now. And you can place a hand on your heart, or maybe on your belly, and take a few natural breaths. Your body is always giving you information about how your life force is flowing. You just have to slow down long enough to listen. Notice your breathing. Is it deep and slow? Or is it quicker and shallow? Feel your heartbeat. Notice, does your body feel warm or cold? Do you feel tense or relaxed? Just notice. And let's try to understand what your river might be experiencing. If you're feeling activated, your heart's racing, your muscles are tight, your mind is spinning, maybe you feel irritable, your river might be in rapids mode. And I was there earlier today. A couple of things did not go exactly as planned, and I found myself in rapids mode. The water's moving fast and turbulent, crashing against everything in my path. That's flight energy. And before we move on to the next, I'll tell you the first thing that I did when I recognized the state that I was in is I went outside and I put my bare feet on the earth. And I intentionally slowed my breath down and just let it all go. And it brought me back to center so that I can be here with you peacefully. Or if you're feeling anxious or restless, like you can't sit still, you want to escape or avoid something, there's something right around the corner that you're not looking forward to. That's flight energy, when you just want to run away. Water seeking the fastest route, you know. Or if you're feeling heavy or numb or shut down, your brain feels foggy, everything feels a little overwhelming, your river might have hit a major dam. There might be a blockage. The water is backed up so much that it's still. This is freeze mode. And all of these are natural responses to the terrain that your river's been running through. They're natural responses for your nervous system with everything that we deal with in life. So today we're going to work with whatever state your water is in, because they're all okay. We're learning to work with the energy to help it move so that we can come back to our center and to our truth and to our peace. So if you'd like to close your eyes, we can tap in together. Place a hand on your heart and begin imagine your life force as a river flowing through your body. We know from previous times together that energy is always moving. Emotions are energy in motion. So if you imagine that as a river in your body right now, Is it flowing freely, clear, at a pace where you could take a step in without it knocking you over? Or do you sense some places where the water feels a little stuck, not moving? We're not judging what you find, we're just noticing. Maybe there's a dam of tension across your shoulders. Maybe rapids of anxiety in your chest. Maybe a peaceful pool in your belly. Or those drought conditions where the riverbed's dry in another part of your body. And pay special attention to your throat. Let's notice how your throat feels right now. This is often where our river meets its biggest obstacles. Is your voice flowing freely? Or is there a blockage of unexpressed words for your truth that you desire to speak? And it hasn't happened just yet. You can notice your heart space. Let's just witness with compassion. And now let's take our attention to the lower part of our body where the river meets the earth. Does it move easily here? Your feet feel like they're asleep? Or can you wiggle your toes just fine? Whatever you're noticing is perfect information. Your inner river is just showing you exactly what it needs. And we're going to do a quick practice together. So you can stay comfortably seated, or if you'd like to lie down, absolutely do that as well. Let's take a few breaths together. Let's, with our breath, make that our inner river. So you can imagine with each inhale, you're drawing in fresh, clear water from deep natural springs within the earth. And feel this clean energy flowing through your body like a gentle stream. And with each exhale, you can imagine any stagnant or stuck energy flowing downstream and away, like leaves or maybe little sticks or branches being carried by the current. Just watch them dance with the water. You're not forcing anything, just allowing natural flow. Let's breathe again together. In for 4. Hold at the top. Out for 6. You can pause at the bottom again if you'd like. In for 4. Pause. Out for 6. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Whenever you're working with your voice and with your breath, anytime you'd like to make noise as you exhale, a simple sigh or humming, that always feels really nice. And you can imagine any stuck or stagnant energy being attached to that noise as you let it go. So imagine again, let's sit by the river, maybe under a tree, maybe noticing some animals around you, or the birds singing, and enjoy this collective peace that we've created for ourselves. Rest just a moment, trusting that even in stillness, your river is still doing the work. Your energy is always working to support you. And as we're learning to work with our energy, it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Now take a moment and sense your inner river now. Does it feel different than when we started? Maybe there's more flow. Maybe there's more awareness, more acceptance of where the water is right now. The river teaches us that healing isn't about forcing ourselves into some perfect state. Perfectly imperfect is my preference, right? It's about recognizing that we're dynamic beings. We're meant to flow with life. Everything has a natural cycle. We move through many different landscapes. Sometimes there's a drop off and rapids happen. Sometimes we can let the current carry us. And in some areas, it's smooth and calm, or you can just float and let the water hold you. Sometimes we have to work around obstacles. There's always a way. All of it is like the river. All of it is natural. I do hope that you are feeling more peaceful. And if this was helpful for nervous system regulation and sacred community time together, what would it look like? What would your life look like if you could feel disconnected to your inner flow more often than not? Instead of feeling stagnant or chaotic, what if you knew many ways to work with your energy? Imagine waking up each day trusting your own rhythm, knowing when to rest, knowing when to move with divine inspired action. What if navigating life's obstacles felt graceful, like the water that just moves around those rocks? And here's the truth that I've witnessed again and again. We're designed to flow. And sometimes we need some support clearing old patterns or energetic debris that's been blocking the current. And if your heart is whispering to you to dive deeper, if you're curious about learning on how to read your own energy patterns and to work with them instead of against them, I would love to walk with you on your journey. My authentic energy alignments help clear what feels draining or confusing, opening your heart and your mind to clarity and peace that wants to flow through to you. It wants to flow through you and bless everyone around you. And I believe in you. I know that you're capable of trusting your own current as completely as the river trusts its path to the sea. And even when you encounter obstacles, the wisdom that you need is within you to help you find your way through. And I'd love to explore how we can work together. If you are feeling called to go a little deeper, to explore a little further, in the comments I have the website divinitywithin.org, and you can book a free clarity call to touch base and talk about how you're feeling and what you're desiring and see how we may work together. either with authentic energy alignments or the season of support where we'd work one-on-one together for 12 weeks. I would love to support you. Please remember, you're not broken when you feel stuck. You're just learning to flow around the obstacles. And you can trust. You can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition and trust the wisdom of nature that we can always learn from, and from the grace of the beautiful creator of all that is. I've so enjoyed spending time with you in sacred community this evening. Thank you so much for taking time out for yourself. I hope that you found these practices helpful. If you have any questions or would like to tell me how you're feeling in the comments, I would love to hear how you're doing. And until we meet again, I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Happy to wait just another moment or so in case anyone would like to chat in the comments. Sending you a big energetic hug and so much love. Until next time.